Hello again, it's Germaine here from Bead Spider, and today I'm really thrilled to be able to show you how to capture this beautiful Rivoli, which is lovely and sparkly with an AB finish, and we're going to capture it with a netted bezel, and it's surprisingly easy. So let's begin. So to do this project, you're going to need a beading needle. You'll need some beading thread. I'm using Spider here. I've got some size 10 seed beads, and these are a beautiful brick color with rainbow finish. I really love these beads. I've also got some size 15 Tohos. You could use Mayuki if you wished. They're in a light amethyst. You've also got your fabulous 30mm Rivoli. Now the nice thing about this is an amber Rivoli. So on one side, it's just a very plain amber. So the nice thing is when I finish this, I'll have two really pendants on either side. This side has got a fabulous AB coat, and you can see it brings in all the purples. It's amazing. And it's going to go really well with my strand of 4mm rainbow hematite, which is a gorgeous strand. Now because we're not using a lot for the pendant, you'll have enough left over to make yourself a nice simple little bracelet using it. We do have all the patterns for this on our website. It's called the Rapture necklace and bracelet, and it shows you how to make the pendant, make it into a necklace, and also how to make the bracelet as well. That's included. And of course all of the diagrams are nice and big so that you can see them very easily. We do ship all around the world, and we've got 8 different colors to choose from. So I think we're all ready to go, so let's begin. I've threaded about 1 meter of thread onto my needle, and I've got my size 15 beads here and my Preciosa size 10. And I'm going to start by making the center circle, which goes around the face of the Rivoli. Now to make it fit nicely, I'm going to start with picking up 4 of the size 15s and then 1 size 10, and the next one I'll do the same, 1 2 3 4, and then 1 size 10. But what I've done here, and I'll show you on the diagram, if you have a look here, these 2 areas here I've only threaded on 3 beads. So all of these little sections have 4 beads, 4 size 15 seed beads, but here and here I'm only using 3. That way I'm going to get a really nice easy fit on my the center of my pendant. So the next one here, I'll just pick up 3, 1 2 3, and then 1, and then I'll go back to 4 again, and I'm going to continue along until I've got them all threaded. And when I've done about, now I need to do this, I have to keep going until I have 13 size 10 beads with the 4 or 3 size 15s in between. So I'll just continue on with that. So now if I take you back to the diagram, now looking at this diagram again, we've got 3 here and 3 here, and then there's 1 2 3 4 5 sets of 4 beads in between the 2 3. 1 2 3 4 5 6 on this side, 5 on this side. So what I'm going to do is, I'm here, there's my set of 3. I've got 1 2 3 4 5 sets of 4. So now I'm just going to pick up 3, 1 2 3, and then I'll continue on with 4 beads until I've threaded them all up and I have 13 size 10 beads. And I've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, 2 more. Now I've got my 13 size 10s, and between them, and it's always good to check in case you make a mistake, that you have 4 beads, one set of 3, 4, and then the other set of 3 and the continuing of 4. So I know that's right because I've checked it. Now what I'm going to do, I've brought it down to the end of my thread, and I've got about a 6-inch tail here. I'm going to pick it up and put it over my finger, and I'm going to go through all of those beads again. So I'll just start back from the very beginning and make a loop and just slowly go through. Now if you hold the tail, then you can bring it up. It doesn't move. I've got a circle, but I'm going to continue all the way around, and finally I'll come back out. I'll just go past this thread and I'll come out of this size 10 seed bead on the other side. So you can get a grip on this, and then it's quite easy just to slowly go through the beads and continue around until you've gone through all of those beads. Now we've got our circle made, and this is actually going to go at the face of our Rivoli. So this will be where we will be doing our netting around. So that's what's going to happen here. So I'll explain to you how we work that. We're going to jump between these size 10 seed beads, and how I'm going to do that is I'll start by picking up 4 of the size 15s and a 10, and then 4 of the size 15s, and then I'm going to take my needle from this 15. I'm going to jump straight over to this one. Now get a hold of this so I'm all sorted. There you go. And then I'm just going to jump straight over to from this one to this one, and that's going to cause a little V shape on the top. And this is our beginning of our netting. So I've got 4 and 1 and 4. So again, on to the next one, and I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads, a 10 and 4 seed beads, and again, oops, make sure 4, 1, 4. Now I'm going to go from this size 10, I'm going to jump to the next size 10, and I'll just go through there and pull it up, and now I have my second netted little picot. So I'm going to continue like this all the way around, and because that's my whole second row. So I'll just continue on with that. I've done my picots all the way around, and I'm just up to my last one, and I'll just pop that in, and then I'll show you how to step up for the next row, because we'll go through this bead. I'm going to go up through these 4 and out through this size 10. So I'll just go through this one, and that brings in my last picot. Just make sure it's all sitting nicely. And now to step up, I'm going to go through the 4 beads along the side here. 1, 2, 3, and there's my last one, and I'll also come out of the size 10 at the top, and I'm going to continue on with exactly the same, picking up 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 15s, 1 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 15s again. So you can see it's really simple and it's very repetitious. So I'm coming out of this 10, I'm going to jump across to this 10, and that gives me the beginning of row 3. So I've got 4, 1 and 4, and I'm going to continue along with that until I've gone all the way around. So again, I told you it was a nice easy way to do a bezel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. That looks a bit, there we go, 4, and then I'll jump across from here. You've got my V, and I jump across to the next size 10, and I'm going to do that all the way around. Now I've come all the way around, and I'm just up to my last little picot here on the outside bridge, so I'll just put that on. Now you will notice it doesn't sit perfectly flat, and that's because I'm not increasing the size at all. So I'm just going to go through my last one here. There we go. So now I've got all my last little bridges on, and again, just like before, I'm going to come around and come out of this little seed bead here on the top. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, lovely. So I'm ready to carry on. So that's just stepping up to the outside. Now you can see it sits a bit wonky, and this is where you have to be a little bit careful, because what we're going to do now, I'll just show you on the cabochon here. When I put this on, this area here is going to come around to the back. So, and when I go around to the back, because look, that will be the edge there, and this will come around to the back like that, and then I'm going to need another row like this, the center row on the other side. So that's what we're going to do now. So it's going to make this curve a little bit, and just take your time with it, because you can get yourself into a little bit of a knot if you're not paying attention, or if you go too fast. So it's better to keep it loose maybe to start with, and then you can pull it in later. So what we're going to do is we're going to mimic what's on this inside row with the size 15s. So you can see here I've got 4, 4, but there's a 3. So I'm going to jump from here to here to start with. I'll do the first one. It's I pick up 4 beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to jump from here right over to this other size 10. Now that's going to bring this in. So if you want to do it just loosely to start with, so you don't get all curled up. So then the next one, I can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 here, so I'm going to pick up 4. And then I'm going to jump over to the next size 10. And see, for the moment I'm just going to keep it loose. Now this one here, it's got 3, so I only need to pick up 3. 1, 2 and 3, and then when I jump over, so I'm going to continue around like that. Now see, look, if I pull it in, see, that's going to start pulling in like that. So that's why if I keep it loose to start with, I'm not going to get lost. So I'm going to carry on around, and I'm going to fill in all of these gaps so that it mimics the center, and then we'll put our cabochon in. So now it's time to capture our crystal. So I'm going to push this in face down, although it doesn't really matter with this one because it's double-sided. You could have it either way. So I'll put that in like that, and then I'm just going to hold my finger, and I'm going to start pulling up my thread. Here we go. And I'm just going to take my time with it, and I'm just going to keep tightening that little thread. And what I'll do too is I'm going to go around these beads a second time, and that will help to tighten it. See, as I'm pulling the thread up, it's capturing it. There we go. So now I'm just going to go around once more through all the beads without adding any beads. I'll just take my thread around, and as I do, I'll just keep pulling it up, and you'll see that's going to tighten it up beautifully. So it's a really easy project, this one. As long as, especially if you just take your time in this little last section where you're pulling it up, and just slowly as you go, keep pulling and tightening. So it's a nice easy fit to capture a crystal. Just get through that little seed bead there. There we go. Just, yep. See, I just straighten it as I go. You can see there's the other side looking marvelous. And then I just want to get this back. The nice thing about this Rivoli is because it's got a coating on one side and not on the other, you've almost got completely two different pendants. You've got a real sort of earthy tone on one side, and then you've got a real what I think looks almost sort of like a vintage look on the other side. Now, of course, I never remember where I started. So sometimes I go around 1.5 times, but look how well that's fitting now. It's really starting to come together well. See, I'm just giving it a little tug, not too much, but just a little tug between, you know, each time I pull up my thread, and that's just bringing it in and tightening it up. As I go. Now once I've gone all the way around, it's merely a matter of just tying off my thread, and I'll do that, but I just want to keep going around for a little bit. See, it's getting a little bit tighter to get around as I tighten it up. Ah, look at that. So you just have to take your time with it. There we go. Because as it gets tighter, that's looking great. So now I can just make it sit a nice tight. Then I'm just going to come down here and tie this off. I'm going to put the needle onto my tail thread, and if you're not sure how to thread a needle easily, my way is I bury the thread between my fingers. I bring the needle to the thread and just pop it over like that and pull it through. Nice and easy. Now I'm coming out of here. I'll just go through this size 10, and then I think I'll probably just go up here and do a knot or two. And I'm just finishing off my tail thread, because then my little cabochon has been captured, or my little Rivoli. Make sure you don't get the knot in the wrong place. There we go. And then I'll just come down through here, and then I think I'll just cut that off. And again, just hold it nice and tight and cut. Now it's time to bring in my 4mm beads for embellishment. So I've got my thread, I've gone around twice, and I'm at this point here, and I want to come to the outside edge of my pendant, because you can see here is my inner circle and my first row, my second row, and my inner circle. So now I want to come to the outside edge, which is along here. So I will just travel along up the side here, And just take your time, because obviously it's a little bit tighter now that we've, you know, tightened it all up. And I'm just going to come out of the size 10 on the edge. The embellishment around the outside is really simple. I mean, and you can elaborate on this or make it as simple as you like. I'm just going to pick up one size 10, one 4mm and one size 10, and I'm going to jump across the bridge to the next size 10, and then that just pops that in there. And again, one size 10, a 4mm and a size 10, and then I just jump across to the size 10 and then pop that in. So that's all I have to do, and I'm going to do that and go all the way around. Once I've gone all the way around, I'm just going to weave back down into the pendant and make a few knots and tie off my thread. I've gone all the way around. Now it's up to you whether you decide to go around again, but quite frankly you just need to tie off your thread, just like we tied off the tail thread. So just like before, I'm just going to come under the thread, under the beads, make a loop, go through the loop and pull it up. Make sure the thread goes between those beads and then pull it up. And I'm just going to continue around and do a little bit more of that and cut off my thread. Then I'll come back and I'll show you how you can attach the rope. Here's my finished Rivoli. Now, of course, if you wanted to, I mean, this is double-sided, so you could make it with a necklace chain and wear it as a necklace, or if you really wanted to, you could stitch a brooch back across here. You could always, you know, stitch a bridge and put a brooch back on there. But I'll just show you if you want to make it into a necklace. Here's one I've done earlier, and you can see I've just done on here a simple right angle weave. On this one here I've done a chevron as well, but all of them are coming off of these beads on the outside. So all you had to do, now here I did this with 2 needles so that it's straight through here, so you literally just pick up your thread, needle through one of these beads here, and if you've got thread on either side and put a needle on both threads, you can then just come straight off that bead like I've done here, straight off that bead, and start straight away with your rope of choice. So it's as simple as that. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell so that you get notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.